Okay, well, we're looking forward to getting back on our home field, play a good Bowling Green team that's 2-1. For us, it's about improving on our last game and correcting some mistakes and getting a few guys a little healthy and fresh and ready to go and trying to come out and have our best performance. So, we need to really hone in on that, which I think we have to a certain degree, and fix the things that hurt us the past game. So I think preparing for what Bowling Green does. Like I said, they're 2-1. Last year they lost to two Power 5 teams by less than a touchdown in Penn State and Texas A&M. They play good football. They're sound. They do a good job on defense. They don't give up the big play. On offense, they're going to run the ball, control the clock, hit you with a little play action, and not turn the ball over. So that's kind of the recipe, is getting turnovers and not giving up big plays and trying to protect the ball, run the ball, and hit a few shots off of it. So they'll definitely be prepared and ready to go for us. And just like the last team, I'm sure there'll be some unexpected things that on either side they can do, which bit us in the rear end a little bit this past game. So we're not only preparing for them, but preparing for a little bit of the unexpected and making sure we have answers for anything that we can't see or that comes about. And that's the goal. But just playing our best football is going to be important for this Saturday.
Jeff, what is Stanquan Clark's prognosis, and now that you've had some time to I guess get results back for that, and what's his recovery timetable looking like?
Unfortunately, Stanquan had lower leg surgery. More than likely out for the year. Could he come back late in the process? Possibly.
Jeff, how did you kind of handle last week with being so early? You said you wanted to rest some guys, but what did you guys go through during practice, and maybe the one thing that you really needed to clean up after that game?
Well, I think getting guys fresh and ready to go is important. There are a few guys that are nicked up that this has been beneficial, so hopefully that pays off. I think offensively there were some unexpected things we saw that we didn't have a good answer for and didn't respond well to, which caused a multitude of other things to happen. So making sure that teams do a few things that we haven't seen on video, that we're prepared and we're ready to have answers. When teams take a lot of chances, you've got to be able to beat them and beat them for big plays. And if you do that, then you can settle things down. And we didn't do a good job of that, and that's on me. I didn't have obviously the best plan and it practiced enough for us to get to it right away. So we've got to be sharper there. On defense, we've done a good job of not giving up big plays, being better overall. But that's got to continue to make sure that we're successful. Playing great defense, having good quarterback play, not turning the ball over will be important to winning the games, and I think we can improve in all those areas.
Follow up on that, on the not giving up big plays. I think you've only given up 3 or 4 of 20 yards or more. How do you work on that? I mean, is that communication? Is it being in the spot? How do you kind of make sure guys are doing that to where you don't do it?
Well, it was a huge emphasis. That was the main emphasis in the offseason, as we gave up too many big pass plays in the passing game last year, a lot. And it showed up, and the statistics speak for itself. So in design, and by structure of the defense, and by changing a few things and maybe alignment and what we're reading. But in general, hey, we're not going to give up throws over our head. We're going to be conscious of that as we play top down. And yes, there'll be situations where we're going to be aggressive and take a few chances. But in the end, in certain coverages, we were getting beat when we really weren't being aggressive last year. And I think we've improved a great deal on that point to this point. Obviously, as the season goes on, we'll be tested more and more each week. And we'll have to come through and be consistent with that.
I guess it's me. It's kind of weird you just slam on the brakes after 2 games, at least from a game standpoint. What was your weekend like? How much football did you watch? Did you have any impressions of any football you might have watched?
Well, I like you guys. I like to watch some football. I enjoy good competition and good games. So, we're going to focus on the mistakes we've made, how to get better, make sure it doesn't happen, be more efficient in playing the game ourselves. And that happens, get a few guys healthy. When it comes to watching football, we're always studying who's doing well and what they're doing, and how can we add a wrinkle here and there that might be beneficial. So yeah, we watch games to enjoy it, and we'll peek at film to learn and add some things that might help us. And every year, football is a little different, and certain things show up a little bit more than others. And I just think that you've got to, my opinion during the season, be on top of that. So as a coach, yes, relaxing is fine, but to me, that's for the off season. We gotta make sure that we're prepared the best we can in order to play this game. In order to play better as a team overall, needs to show up and happen this Saturday.
Jeff, have you stayed pretty consistent over the years in how you've scheduled during bye weeks, or do you tweak, do you change things, especially when you have an early one like this?
It somewhat is the same schedule. I think for us, our coaches hit the road recruiting this past weekend after we practiced. Our players got a little break on Friday and Saturday. Practices were lighter, not quite as physical during the bye week. Certain things were worked on to a great degree and concentrated on that has given us problems or that we haven't done as well on. And that year it changes what you're good at and what you're not quite as good at. So I just think addressing the issues, not hiding from it, identifying it, and trying to improve and go out there and play better next week. And now we've got a full week of practice for Bowling Green, which we've already started on them to a certain degree. But just like with everybody, you see these games every week. You got to show up every week and play and execute and do the small things if you want to win, no matter who you play.
Jeff, you mentioned some guys are getting healthy. Curious about Nate Kariski if he's back. And in addition to that, what do you think about the contribution or the impact of the tight end position thus far?
Well, Nate should be back this week, which will be good. I think that's a position where he does have experience on our offense. He's been there and he's played in it quite a bit. So, to get him back will be a good addition. Jaleel has got to just continue to play, and we got to find ways to get the tight ends the ball and them to do their job. But that's an important and difficult job. Being efficient in the passing game, being strong and physical in the running game, understanding exactly what we're doing at all times. It's one of the toughest positions to play, in my opinion. So that position just got to continue to work through it and get better each and every week.
Jeff, just curious if you have a relationship with Eddie George, or have you guys ever crossed paths over your coaching and playing career?
Well, luckily I've never had an opportunity to tackle him because I don't know him real well. You know what? Great player. I enjoyed watching him play. I don't know him real well, but class human being who's done a great job. I mean, really done a great job being a young head coach. Got the Bowling Green job. They played really good football. I mean, they are well coached, do it the right way. They believe in physical, sound, fundamentally football on both sides of the ball. They're going to run the ball at you. They're not going to turn the ball over. They're going to control the clock. They're going to try to pop a few runs and throw the ball over your head on defense. They're very sound as well. Try not to give up the big play. They're going to cover down your receivers. They're going to get lined up and set. So you see all those things show up every week, and that's why they're 2-1. And they played good football, and I think they've got a bright future with him as the head coach. And he's been there and done it. So I think those players believe in him, and he's done a really good job.
Jeff, kind of a bigger picture question for you. It looks like the NCAA this week is going to review and formally adopt the Oversight Committee's recommendation for a single January portal window. Can you just talk about the potential pros and cons of that calendar change?
Well, I know I'm in favor of the calendar change. I think it would be good for football to have one portal window instead of two, just because you want to give players an opportunity to make decisions and do what's best for them when the season's over, and we're all for it. Whether that's here, whether that's somewhere else, we're all for it. And then you want to try to get your roster set so that you don't have to do it again in May with people who really haven't even played a game yet. So I think it's beneficial for the game of football, and I think it will be better than what we've had here the last couple of years of the two portals for sure, two portal cycles.
Jeff Brohm started out at Notre Dame. Is their quarterback? What have you kind of seen with him? He's a guy that's been to a couple of spots, but started a lot of games at the Power 4 level.
Well, I think it was a good pickup for Bowling Green. He's played football at a high level. He's been around a lot of really good football teams. Now he's getting his opportunity to go out there and play. He's playing in a system where he's got other players around him where they're gonna rely on them as well. The running game, the tight end play, pounding the football, play action off of it, moving the pocket slightly. So I think he's done a really good job of running that offense. I think he's in a good spot where they're gonna not only play to his strengths, but play to the team's strengths and not put too much pressure on the quarterback to drop back and pass every play. So I think to this point, he's done a really good job. And I think he's a really good player.
Anything else? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.